Okay, in the last lecture we have gone through the Smith chart basics, where we tried to understand how Smith chart is designed, what these circles and these arcs represent, the points of short circuit, open circuit and match point. Along with we understood that lambda corresponds to 720, since semicircle lambda by corresponds to lambda by 4 and complete circle corresponds to lambda by 2, and lambda by 2 corresponds to, because the one complete revolution over a circle corresponds to 360 degrees and lambda equal to 720 degrees. So this was the last point of discussion. I just want to repeat, and then we will go for solving numerical on Smith chart. See, you just refer a class notebook as well as the numericals which you have solved in the assignment to go through these details of the Smith chart, and try to solve all those numericals by taking a copy of this Smith chart on the paper and try to solve it, because it's very hard for me to teach you on these video lectures where you won't understand unless you do it on from your side. So let's solve first numerical and just try to understand. See, this is the same numerical which was asked in the last examination, and this is the first numerical I took in the Smith related to Smith chart in the classroom also. So see what he is saying: a 30-meter long lossless transmission line. One more thing to understand: whenever I am solving any numerical on Smith chart, we assume that transmission line is to be lossless. So 30-meter long lossless transmission line with Z0. Z0 is characteristic impedance. Operating at 2 MHz is terminated with a load. ZL means load impedance. So ZL equal to 60 plus J40. If U, or it can be represented as V also, U equal to 0.6 C on the line, then find, where C is the velocity of light in free space. So 0.6 into 3 into 10 raised to 8 we need to calculate. So calculate reflection coefficient, standing wave ratio and input impedance. It's very easy to calculate these expression, but first of all try to understand. First of all, ask question to yourself. The first question: whether I am dealing with impedances or admittances? Yes, I am dealing with impedances, since it is ZL, Z0. So let's calculate ZL bar. What is ZL bar? ZL bar means ZL upon Z0. So if I need to calculate this ZL upon Z0, how I can calculate? So ZL upon Z0 is equal to, see, calculate normalized load impedance. ZL bar, I will say for time being, ZL upon Z0. So 60 plus J40 divided by 50. So if I do that, 60 plus J40 is ZL and Z0 is 50. So I will get 1.2 plus J0.8. Okay, so let's compare it with the standard equation, R plus Jx. Now what I told you, R means complete circle, X means arc. Let's go back to the Smith chart. Now try to find a circle of 1.2. See, here it is a circle of 1. If I start moving towards the right hand side, I will get 1.2, 1.4, 1.6. I am just assuming that this is a circle of 1.2. So try to find a complete circle of 1.2. I have marked it, I have identified it, and try to find the arc of 0.8. I guess it is 0.8. Yes, it is 0.8. So try to find the arc of 0.8. I am not able to see any value on this chart. Just I am assuming that this is the arc of 0.8. Let's assume here. So this is the arc of 0.8 and this is a circle and their point of intersection. I am marking this point as point of intersection where the circle of 1.2 and arc of 0.8 meets. Now the question you can ask, why I have marked this point here? Even I have a circle of 1.2 continuing from here, and I am having an arc of 0.8. So can I mark it here? No, I cannot, because I need to see the sign. It is R plus. If it is plus, it is inductive, so it should be represented on the upper half. So let's say this is a point where R and Jx is matching. Now the next point, ask question to yourself. Once this point is marked, this point is ZL normalized. I have marked the point as ZL normalized, which is 1.2 plus 0.8. So this center of the Smith chart, I will name it as O, name this point as P, take a scale from O to P, join P and continue this line till it touches this circle. That's it, not this arc circle. So this is Z equal to 0 circle. This is the circle which I am talking about. So you should extend this till this point, name this point as Q. Okay, OPQ. Now the simple trick to calculate gamma, capital gamma or reflection coefficient, is equal to OP upon OQ. That's it. So if I can calculate OP upon OQ, so this distance OP divided by this complete distance OQ will give you reflection coefficient, and that's the answer of your first bit. So reflection coefficient is equal to OP upon OQ, and reflection coefficient can only be calculated at load side. It cannot be calculated at some other side. So reflection coefficient is equal to OP upon OQ. That's it. So this is the first calculation you can do. So let's try to understand this in the numerical. So reflection coefficient, you will get this as 0.3516 at an angle 56 degree. Now where from I am getting this angle? Let's go back to this particular slide and say if this is the thing which I got, this is OQ and this is OP. I told you in earlier lecture, this is the angle of reflection coefficient. So outer scale, and inner scale is angle of transmission coefficient. So start traveling from here. So it is 0 degree, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. So it is somewhere between 50 and 60, and if I calculate, there are 5 divisions, so 52, 54 and 56. So this angle, always remember, angle of reflection coefficient is calculated in anti-clockwise direction. So this angle corresponds to 56 degree. So magnitude is OP upon OQ. Let's assume once again here OP upon OQ, and once I get a magnitude, this is angle of 56 degrees. So this is the answer of first bit of the question. Then next, what he is asking to us, he is asking a standing wave ratio. So for standing wave ratio, once again I will draw this point, because every time I need to redraw it whenever I am making just shuffling of the slide. Let's say this is OP and OQ. I don't have a compass in my hand, so I cannot draw a complete good circle, but try to understand this. So have a compass with the one end O as a center and OP as a radius. Draw a circle. That's it. With O as a center and OP as a radius, draw a circle. The circle where it touches on this right hand side, remember this thing, where it touches on the right hand side is your VSWR or SWR, standing wave ratio, voltage standing wave ratio or standing wave ratio only. So whenever you calculate, see, by just denoting ZL in the proper fashion, you have calculated reflection coefficient, and just drawing one circle with O as a center and OP as a radius, I have drawn a circle, and where this circle has touched on this to this horizontal line, I will repeat this, the circle where it cuts on the horizontal line on the right side, that particular point you just mentioned, because when I start traveling from this from center towards this point, the values are increasing, 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, 1.8, 1.9, 2.1, or it is somewhere between 2 to 2.2. So let's say standing wave ratio is having a value 2.1 or 2.2, perfectly okay, and this is a standing wave ratio. So this is answer of our second bit. Now if 3 bits need to be calculated, for every bit calculation you will get 3 marks. So 3 marks for OPQ, measuring OP upon OQ and calculation of this particular angle, and VSWR with the O as a center, P as a radius, draw a circle, and the circle touches to this horizontal line on the right side, mark that point, and that point is nothing but representation of VSWR. So this horizontal line is having some scale, you just denote that value, just mention that value, that will be your final answer. So let's cross check the answer. So standing wave ratio is 2.1, close. Always remember, standing wave ratio can have the value minimum 1 and it can be less than infinity. So VSWR, it is represented by S, and it can be less than infinity. While the reflection coefficient, whenever I am talking, reflection coefficient can have minimum value of 0 and it can have a maximum value of 1. Reflection coefficient cannot be greater than 1. Now see, the third thing which I am supposed to calculate is input impedance. Now this is very important to understand. See, what are the things which he has given? He has given us a frequency, he has given us a length of a transmission line, he has given a velocity. From that I can calculate input impedance. How I can calculate? See here. So length of the transmission line is 30 meter, perfectly okay. But 30 meter, how this 90 meter we have calculated? So see, lambda equal to, we already know lambda equal to C by F. c by f, but c here is given as 0.6 c. This is velocity of light in free space. So 0.6 c means 0.6 into 3 into 10 raised to 8. You can do these calculations on your calculator and try to find the answer. 0.6 here, 0.6 in the numerator, 0.6 into 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second divided by 2 megahertz, 2 into 10 raised to 6, you will get 90 meter as the answer. So lambda is 90 meter. So length of the transmission line is given as 30 meter. So 30 meter is how much of 90 meter? So 30 upon 90 into lambda, so it is lambda by 3. Perfectly okay. So once I got this lambda by 3, so all these three things, what are those three things? 2 megahertz, this velocity and length, these three things will decide what? These three things collectively decide just lambda. Once I know lambda, see one more important point, the last bit of this first lecture, that one complete rotation on the Smith chart corresponds to lambda by 2, which corresponds to 360 degrees. So lambda equal to 720 degrees. So I have calculated lambda here 90 meters and 30 meter is lambda by 3, because if complete wavelength is 90 meter, 30 meter means it is lambda by 3, and I need to calculate input impedance. Once again go back to the Smith chart. I have calculated one point, P point. What is that P point? This point was load point. Now I am at the load. Just understand, if it is a transmission line, I am at load. I am at this particular point in the load, and someone is asking me what is input impedance. So I am at this destination and someone is asking me about what is the source of this particular transmission line. I need to travel from load towards generator. Try to understand, this is a very important term. Z in input impedance calculation will give you half of the weightage of the complete marks which you can get from that particular question. So see, from load towards generator, I need to move from load towards generator since I am at the load point, at ZL point. So should I move clockwise from point P or should I move anti-clockwise? So whenever I am moving towards generator, I need to move clockwise. So from this P point you have drawn one circle. Let me redraw it so that you will understand. See, let me redraw this particular circle for you. This is P point. You have taken this O point with O as a center and OP as a radius. You have drawn one circle. Once you have drawn this circle, now try to understand, from this load point on this complete circle, this circle which you have drawn, you need to move clockwise. But how much you need to move? You need to move till the length of the transmission line is achieved. So length of the line is 30 meters. So let's calculate this. So 30 meter corresponds to lambda by 3. Lambda by 3 corresponds to, lambda corresponds to 720, and 720 by 3, 240 degrees. So I will move. Now once again, this is just becoming difficult. COP, draw a circle, you know about it. Now from this point P, I need to move clockwise by 240 degrees. So somewhere here I will end up with, okay, because while traveling from here to here means 56 degree, this is 180 degree, 180 degree plus 56 degree, how much you will get? 216 degrees. So 216 degrees plus 4 degree I need to travel clockwise. So somewhere here. So from this point, draw a line. That's it. Now once you draw the line on this circle, make it cross, and from this particular point, now try to understand which circle is crossing and which arc is passing. I'll repeat. From this particular point P, you need to travel 240 degrees in clockwise direction. Once you get a point of 240 degree, mark that point, join it with O. Once you join it with O, now try to find point of intersection of circle and your straight line. Once you get that point, and from this point, which circle, complete circle is passing and which arc is crossing, try to find it out. Once you get that, this will be your input impedance. Now try to understand while calculating input impedance whether you are on the upper half or you are on the lower half. If you are on the upper half, this is inductive. If you are on the lower half, it should be capacitive. So if I calculate this, I got Z in as 0.47 plus J 0.035. So this is constant R circle, this is constant X circle, and I already told you these are normalized value. Whatever I get on the Smith chart is normalized, it is not actual, and in order to get the actual value I need to multiply it by Z0. So Z in actual, I will say this as actual is equal to Z0 into Z in bar, which you have calculated, and this is 15 to 0.47 plus j 0.035. You will get this value as 23.5 plus j 1.75. See, there are n number of things which you can calculate by using Smith chart. Almost I tried to solve 5 to 6 numericals in the classroom itself. So try to just revise all those things along with the help of first video lecture, and one numerical I will give it to you as an exercise where you need to calculate. See, a 100 plus j 150 ohm load is connected to 70 ohm lossless line. So this is Z0, this is ZL. Plus means inductive. So divide 100 plus j 150 by 75, you will get R and X. Mark that point on the Smith chart. Draw OPQ. OP upon OQ will be reflection coefficient. Angle of reflection coefficient you can calculate. So reflection coefficient over. Make O as a center, OP as a radius. Draw a circle. The circle cuts on the right hand side to that horizontal line. Where that circle cuts, that point is nothing but your standing wave ratio. What is load admittance? You need to just make 180 degrees. So if this is a Smith chart, you have calculated this value as ZL as here. You just extend it 180 degrees on the circle where you have drawn that VSWR, and the point where it cuts is nothing but your load admittance. Zin at 0.4 lambda. Lambda corresponds to 720. So 0.4 into 720, whatever value of degree you get. So from Zin to the load, then Vmax and V minima. So last point I will tell you, Vmax and V minima, which I couldn't covered in the initial numerical, that whenever you draw one circle, this circle is called as a constant VSWR circle. So this is O and this is P. So OPQ, this was the situation in the last numerical. So O as a center, P as a radius, OP as a radius, you have drawn a circle. This circle is called as a constant VSWR circle. We have talked about that. The point where it cuts on the right hand side, we call this as a standing wave ratio, and this is a point where voltage maxima occurs always. Why voltage maxima occurs? Because impedance is increasing. If the impedance is more, V is equal to IR. If R is more, V is more. So they both are directly proportional. So V max is the point on the right hand side, and this is the left hand side point. This is V minima. This is a point on the left hand side. So whenever you draw this complete circle, constant VSWR circle, on the right hand side there is a point of voltage maxima, on the left hand side there is a point of voltage minima. So this concept is required for you to solve the next numerical, the last numerical, where you need to calculate location of V max and V min with respect to load if the line is 0.6 lambda long, and Zin at the generator. Now try to solve this numerical also. I have solved in the class. Try to understand the Smith chart if you are having it with you right now, or you can refer Matthew Sadiku book. If you need a copy of Matthew Sadiku book in the soft copy form, it is already mailed to you, I guess, but if you still need it, you can ask it for me and I will give it to you, and you can just try to solve some more numericals of Smith chart. And this completes our remedial sessions on the electromagnetics, where we try to understand the Smith chart. I have given you the preparation strategies for the exam, where no one should fail this time and everyone should get a good marks. So right now it's enough for you and it's enough for me also. So let's keep learning, stay home and stay safe, and keep learning. Once again, thank you very much.